part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I am your host, Damon Royster, and today is a heavy day because today we have reached our Batman journey that no one was looking forward to, but I do think it's important that we talk about it. I made a commitment to literally no one to watch every Batman movie within reason. Sorry to the animated series, I will not be covering that. And Lego Batman, I will not be covering that. Live action Batman will be covered. And like it or not, we have to talk about the weird divot that the franchise took when Zack Snyder said, "Hey, I'll do a Batman movie." I am, of course, referring to the second greatest tragedy of 2016, Batman v Superman, The Dawn of Justice. Boo. Boo, I say. I don't want to hear a good thing about this movie. Dunks only. This is a dunks only podcast on this movie. I only want to dunk on this travesty. Batman versus Superman, aka Martha Gate. Martha. It was there in plain sight the whole time. You know, you watch Batman, yeah, Martha Wayne. You watch Superman, yeah, Martha Kent. You never think. You never think about the moms. And you know what? Maybe that's sexist, but hey, it wouldn't be the first time a superhero movie got accused of that. This is a bad movie, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. Who is this for? And more importantly, what did the filmmakers think we'd think of this? I think it's sloppy storytelling, terrible world building, awful franchise building. No one is likable. The only chemistry Henry Cavill and Amy Adams have is the fact that they're playing two iconic lovers, and it's not enough. They look like strangers. Every time they're in a scene, they look like they're just meeting for the first time. Lex Luthor, ugh, can't even bring myself to say it. Ben Affleck is as good as playing Batman as he was in Shakespeare in Love. That's a read. Fuck Ben Affleck. He's a loser. Couldn't even keep J-Lo twice. Twice he let that go. Dumbass. Have you seen Hustlers? You know what? I have a theory that he watched Hustlers and he's like, let's get back together with J-Lo. And then she made a movie about him and he's like, oh, too much. He sucks. Why do we keep giving Ben Affleck chances? He always lets you down. He always lets you down. He's like your divorced dad who is always late, but that's only because he doesn't really want to be here. And that's the best way I can explain his presence in this movie. He does not want to do this, but he needs the money. I have a conspiracy theory. I think that the people who made this movie hoped that the results of the 2016 election, because regardless of the results, it would have been huge. I think they hoped that it would cover up this movie and that we wouldn't talk about it. And they were hoping to bury this train wreck that launched 1,000 train wrecks. Because also, this began the DC franchise. That's bad. It's always bad. And it's always going to be bad. Okay. Whew. I am hot and bothered. I'm hot and bothered, listeners. Producer Michael is not here. He did not want to record this one. So instead, I've got producer Samuel Adams, Oktoberfest. So let's begin this conversation with my beautiful guests. You know what I love? I love my guests. They're great. They're not Batman v Superman. Also, it was a hotly contentious question to put it V or versus. And they went with V because they thought it was more diverse. I don't know. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. I need other people to talk. I'm so mad. My first guest is always the first guest because he was literally the very first guest on this podcast. Truly the first person to say, "Hey, I listen to your podcast," and I appreciate that every day. Not everybody says that. Not even my family. They are, oh my gosh, they told me so many hilarious things to say about them. This guest is a hot dog aficionado with ketchup and mustard. Please welcome to your ears, your friend and mine, Isaac Snyder. Woo!
Thank you so much for all of that, Damon. Truly, I love that this is how you feel about this movie, and I'm so excited for us to rub our feelings together in this.
And Isaac, you know, I always love a good rub down. So
Famously.
let's go. So I love Isaac. So let's go over to my second guest, which is complicated, a complicated relationship. Famously, this person is my evil twin because white people can't tell us apart. So we have embraced it. Man, fun fact about this guest: this is the first guest I ever did a one-on-one solo episode with because someone who shall remain nameless. They have three names. I'll leave it at that. Canceled. So you heard, well, which Spider-Man was it? Into the Verse or Across the Spider-Verse?
Across the Spider-Verse. That was the latest one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear those dulcet tones right there, live from New York. It's EJ Cameron. Woohoo!
Take that, Lorne Michaels. You could have had me.
I feel you.
What up, Evil Twin?
Not much Evil Twin. You like this movie?
You know what's funny about us confusing people? I was going to wear glasses, but I want to give
No.
Isaac a break.
Yeah, we don't want to confuse.
You were
Isaac.
gonna test me. You were gonna test me. Okay.
We're both going to turn our cameras off. I'm going to put on a hat and glasses. Let's see.
Who do you think it is?
Oh.
I mean, like, okay, let's go to EJ Cameron. Because we spoke a little bit before we hit record. You were saying you don't hate this movie that much.
I know, in true Evil Twin form, I gotta say, it's my least favorite Batman movie. I told you this via email. I've never met a Batman movie I didn't like. Until this one. This is my least favorite. Coincidentally enough, this is my second time watching it, and I fell asleep at the same part from the first time I watched it.
Which part? Is it when the bathtub scene?
Oh, that was so hot and steamy. You're gonna flood the apartment. I was like, what? Get out of there with your clothes on.
No, but
You're Superman, and you know.
I know. Can he just? Superman I know can spin around real fast and just be naked in a second.
Done. The Superman I know.
The one I was raised to believe in. And yeah, y'all, I'm talking about Dean Cain. There, I said it.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah, known Republican, but I would rather.
I was gonna say, make Superman great again, huh?
No.
No. Wow, we got it here. You heard it here first.
Oh my God.
I think it's right because we are on the brink of a historic election again. So I think it's great that we're talking about this movie.
Yeah. Now it's like every 4 years, they're like, this is the one. Anyway,
Really?
well, you know what wasn't the one? Segue. This movie. I wasn't crazy about it. I didn't hate it, but I did find myself a few times sitting here like this, like action scenes, like big fights, and I'm like, okay, all right. I just, and I'm gonna kick it to you, Isaac. I just don't like. Why are you gonna start a Batman movie without just a Batman movie?
Yeah,
completely.
I totally agree. I want to go over to Isaac Snyder. What are your initial feelings? BVS.
So I'm really happy, actually, EJ, that you mentioned that this was your second time watching the film. Damon, was this also your second time watching the film as well?
It was.
It was. Okay, I think that's really fascinating because this was my second time watching the film as well. And I really, for whatever reason, I felt like, when I first watched this movie, I vehemently hated it. Like, I hated it to the point of where I was actually like, finding very, very small details about the film that just really bothered me. And like, I got like angry about the movie. Watching it a second time, I didn't hate it as much. Like, I kind of got the vision that Zack Snyder was like kind of going for. I didn't necessarily like the vision, but like I kind of got it. So ultimately, yeah, like this movie sucks dick.
And not in a good way.
And not in the good way.
Honey,
not in the good way, just so you all know.
Girl, we're here to tell you, not in the good way.
But no, Isaac, I felt the same exact way. I was like, I remember hating this way more. And then I was watching it, and I remember like there were things I still hated, but I was like, oh, I like really hated this when it came.
Truly, I think it was honestly the blatant murder of one Jimmy Olsen in the first 15 minutes of the movie. It really set the tone for me, being like, the fuck?
And that was also like Lois was meeting Jimmy Olsen for the first time. Am I correct? Like they didn't know each other?
Yeah, they didn't know each other. And then he just so happened to be like some sort of secret agent at the same time. Secret agent Jimmy Olsen?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What country were they were? I know it was not the US. Is that all I need to know? I forget.
They just kept referring to it as the desert.
Yeah.
So nondescript African?
I was thinking it was some kind of a stan. not Uzbekistan, but some kind of a stan. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I think they
Not the
mentioned
Scrippistan.
Africa at one point. Like, I think in one of the many security briefings and courtroom scenes in this fucking movie, they may have mentioned Africa.
Yeah, I just remember the main guy being there were like a lot of black soldiers, so I was like, okay.
Right. Oh, and was the woman they kept cutting to of like she was like, who does Superman get to decide to save?
Oh
Was
yeah,
she
a girl from Loki.
she was in Loki?
She is in Loki.
Wait,
She
is
She
she
double
is.
dipping. She one of the time hoppers.
okay? The TVA.
The TVA.
Yeah,
She wasn't she also in Deadpool and Wolverine?
If she was the same,
yeah. They pop. Yeah, she pops in for a little bit.
what's her name? B
Yeah.
15 or
Spoiler
something?
alert.
Oh yeah, B-15. That's her
B-15.
character's name.
Oh shit, I didn't even realize it. She's great, but I still hate this movie.
Yeah.
With your permission, I'm just gonna hop around just to different things. One thing I like the start of this movie. I mean, we all lived in Chicago. Isaac, you're still in Chicago, but like we all
Mhm.
have Chicago in our hearts. And I really believe that Gotham City is located somewhere in the center of the country. And it just felt like a initial slap in the face to all Dark Knight Chicago fans. Like, no, actually, Gotham is across the river from Metropolis. You can see everything happening in Metropolis from Gotham. Why? That made me mad. Did that not make anyone else mad? I was furious.
Now that definitely can make me mad for sure.
It goes back to calling it lazy. They were just like,
Mhm.
they're right next to each other. They've never mentioned that ever in any Batman versus Superman crossover. I know because I've seen most of them and I love them. They never
Fail.
mention it. They just live in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's just like, oh, I need to get in an Uber and head back to Gotham.
Right. Yeah, and then like the other thing about this opening sequence, I just remember from Man of Steel. I promise this is about Batman, but I just remember from Man of Steel, there was like a lot of controversy about like those ending action sequences being too reminiscent of 9/11 and like the buildings crumbling and it was just like so pummeling. And then this movie was like, you know what? We're going to rectify that by showing it to you all over again.
Good. 9/11 was forever ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Most of these TikTokers, they weren't
Yeah,
even around for it.
They didn't even have TikTok.
they didn't even
Exactly.
how am I supposed to never forget
Thank you.
if I'm not reminded?
Damn.
Put it
And
in all the movies.
girl, that's why we get Isaac on this podcast. Thank you. He never not forgets.
Never
Yeah.
forget. Never forget. One thing that I will say about the geography of this movie and what kind of also pisses me off a little bit about it is so Smallville famously in Kansas, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Right. Did you guys watch the Smallville television show growing up?
Like the
What-
first
Tom,
five
like
seasons.
Tom Wheeling,
Yeah.
Tom Welling, whatever. Okay. So that show kind of was like, it takes place in Smallville, obviously. And it would go to Metropolis, and Metropolis would always be portrayed as being like, the big city in the Midwest. So like we can always assume that maybe Chicago is Metropolis. Like
I see. Yeah.
and then like Gotham might be more equivalent to like New York
Detroit?
City.
Oh, sorry.
Well, in the movie,
Okay.
Detroit, yeah, I could see it being Detroit from that. But yeah, it's just geographically speaking, it's kind of a little bit confusing. I thought it was a little bit cheap that it was just so close to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. Um,
Blue Lois is right. Respect to Amy Adams, but Lois Lane has always been like really punchy. She always had a lot of moxie, if you will. Yeah, see, moxie. And Amy Adams just seemed very like, oh.
listeners, EJ Cameron has thrown up his hands like Mickey Mouse with some jazz hands there. But I would agree. Like she has. I mean, it's not her fault. It's her acting style. Like she's wonderful in Enchanted, but she's also wonderful in like Sharp Objects. Like she can do. I don't know, like really fantastical Disney fluff, but also really dark David O. Russell shit.
You
Like
know who
this.
they needed? Aubrey Plaza.
Ooh, interesting.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. I mean, she looks like the animated series Lois
That's what I'm
Lane.
saying. And she has a very like over this attitude.
Right. Throw her in some purple.
Ooh, I think yeah. Burns are purple. We need a little bit of
We fixed it.
cynicism. Lois Lane should be a little bit cynical and not so like, oh, Superman, I love you.
Yeah, she has
Yeah.
to be a little bit more kind of like pissed. I don't know. Like that might be the best way to describe it because yeah, she has to her match is Superman, who
Yeah.
like is kind of just, he's just there.
They
He's just
both
there.
felt very Smallville. Like they just both came from small towns.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they
And
met in high
Lois,
school.
yeah. And Lois was
Yeah.
always like, I'm from the city. I can protect myself.
Yes, I agree with you about Lois. There's just like such a small town quality to her. Fun fact about this movie, Batman is in this as well.
Ah,
I don't know if you guys know this. Um,
Oh.
what did we think of the like there's no other way to say it, the wall crawlingness of Batman? This like the first scene with him is like he's in this dark room and the cops are like looking for him. He's just like jumping from ceiling to wall. Isaac, are you doing full Batman wingspan?
Yeah, because he really was in the corner and he was just like,
which
and
is such a funny image to like, why are you going to start him like that? Just
that's
Yeah.
his first image in the movie.
like, if y'all, somebody don't get a
I'm not
broom
here.
and get that nigga out the corner, get a broom.
Ah,
Get out of here.
yeah, you don't need guns, just need a broom.
Just need a broom. Get down. Get
Just
down.
push him down. Be like, get down from there. What are you
Get up
doing?
there. I have a twofold question for both of you.
Ooh.
One, how did you feel about the branding? And two, what would your brand be?
Ooh.
Oh,
So in the movie, Batman is branding people with the bat symbol on their chests, which apparently is a signal when they go to prison that they should be killed by other prisoners. Um,
right.
Justice. Do you have any idea what your brand would be?
I do believe that, well, the branding, first of all, really wild. This is one of those like small little nitpicky things this Batman was so fucking violent to the
Yeah.
point of where I'm like, I get it. Batman might throw a dude in a coma every now and then, but like
Every now and then.
every now and then, but like this guy, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but also the use of Batman using guns really just like problematic, very
That's why it's my
problematic for the
least
character.
favorite Batman. That's why it's my
Mhm.
least favorite Batman. If they didn't do that, I would have picked another movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, why did they have Batman use guns? That is in the character's mythos. Superman is allergic to kryptonite. Batman does not use
Allergic.
guns.
Thank you, EJ.
Achoo. Oh, get out of here.
Come on.
It's like-
I mean, there was a lot of kryptonite dust in this movie too. Come on, let's talk
True.
about that.
They did.
He just needed a Benadryl.
He did. He just needs some super Benadryl. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that was my beef with him too. He was way too violent, just for no reason. They never explained, like, he never said why he brands people. He just did it, and it was like, well, if you got the brand, they'll kill you. And then I was like, for like 2 seconds, I had sympathy. I was like, oh, Batman doesn't know.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, Batman just don't care.
Yeah. I wonder, like as you're talking about it, I wonder, do you think it was like the branding and the gun use, do you think it was a way to make him seem like a formidable foe against Superman? Well, the guns were that, but like I think the guns were like, oh, he could stand a chance if he just got some kryptonite bullets to take out Superman. But then also the branding, because there's this whole like subtext where like they're both Superman and Batman are like checking each other out and like, oh, he's dangerous. No, he's dangerous. And when like Clark Kent is looking up the Batman, I think they needed that branding thing to make him seem like, oh, he's a psychotic person.
I guess so, but I mean, we can go back to just Batman kicking people's teeth in.
Mm-hmm.
This is masked vigilante running around causing a havoc and beating people up. It was like, that's what you're picking Superman to, like, Superman, get over yourself. Like, that's what your beef is.
And agreed. And also, I want to say to me, there should be a tier level to superheroes. Like Superman should not be the one to go after Batman. Like
Period.
he's too powerful for just a human vigilante man. Like truly, it's up to the police. There I
Yeah.
said.
Oh wow. Oh, he's back again.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Maybe I love
Mr. Dean Cain himself.
Oh my God.
I love Dean Cain, who is a known Trump supporter, and I do think the police are the most qualified to catch Batman. You know, I would say lock me up, but with this kind of rhetoric, they wouldn't. So, oh well.
No, I think it's all lazy. It was a lot of lazy stuff. The guns, I think the guns are lazy. Him having guns and shooting guns is just lazy. Then I got like my tinfoil hat on, and I was like, oh, the guns are there because of big guns in America. And then I started watching, like, that was like 2016. I started like seeing some like little mirroring things.
Like what?
Well, like for one, I was like, wow, there's a lot of like Black people on the news complaining about a police force or a certain force coming in,
Mm-hmm.
messing with them. And I was like, oh, okay.
We get
Interesting.
Our lady politician, Holly Hunter.
Yes, in an all white suit all the time. Like she changed from one white coat to another white coat right before walking into the courtroom. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, wait, do y'all know Holly? I love Holly Hunter. Did you see her? She was on Succession season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have famously not watched Succession yet. It's on the list. It's on the list. I know, guys. It's all right. But Holly Hunter, famously Elastigirl.
True. Incredibles, yeah.
Oh.
Superhero royalty, yeah.
Oh, thickums.
Yep. Oh.
As one might say.
Fortnite did her dirty. Anyway.
Oh, I've seen. I was like, all right, y'all, go outside.
Come on. No.
We started talking about Lex Luthor a little bit too.
Yes.
Just first of all, no.
Well,
You know,
so I did some very basic research on this. I skimmed Wikipedia, but I saw that there was some controversy that a lot of people were accusing Jesse Eisenberg of just copying Heath Ledger's The Joker, because this Lex Luthor was very more sinister and like more so than just a wealthy man with a lot of power.
It felt like he was kind of channeling Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor from like the original Superman movie.
Yeah,
you know, like he was kind of being a little goofy. He was being a little like I don't know. Famously, I would say that Jesse Eisenberg should have played Joker. I don't know why Jared Leto was there in this universe. You know, because I was into it. I liked it.
Okay, you're into the Berg.
I'm into it for Joker. For Lex Luthor, though, it was giving like spoiled rich kid vibes, and
too young.
Yeah. And I tried to, as we said before, I was like, I see the vision, because that's what a billionaire is. He's a young tech boy who inherited daddy's money, but he wasn't cool. He was just like sniveling. And that's not how Lex Luthor has ever been portrayed. He has to be smarter on a different level and like cold in a certain type of way to be Lex Luthor. And he just seemed like goof troop, like I'd mush him in the face in like 2 seconds. And also, why they start him with hair? They started him with hair just to shave his head. What prison do you go to where they give you a haircut? Like, what?
Metropolis Penitentiary.
Like what do they say? They were like, hey, we're gonna make you a skinhead. Trust us, it's gonna help you. You need friends.
You need it. Well, I mean, this, and again, I cannot stress how I just want to focus on Batman, but the Superman is just so huge. And just to go back to the Man of Steel of it all, this franchise was fucked from the get-go, because they started with General Zod and like Kryptonians invading Earth, and then they go to Lex Luthor. Like, that's not the progression that's not how you heighten a franchise. Sorry, I'm just foaming at the mouth. So like this is our first time seeing Lex Luthor. It's too much. And also, for the first time, Wonder Woman's in this. Like, you're shoving in Batman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor into this Superman sequel. This is nuts.
And the Flash in a time traveling sequence. Never forget one of the funniest moments in the movie for me. Him just coming to be like, is this too soon? I screamed.
Oh, and
Yeah.
this just in from I believe I'm the only person who actually saw the Flash movie. Isaac, have you seen it?
I famously watched it.
Famously, you watched it, not Succession, but you did watch the Flash movie.
I
Fascinating.
did watch the Flash movie.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw it in theaters, actually. I paid money for it. Kind of crazy.
And I kind of did. I used my AMC Stublist membership.
There we go. Drink to that. Clink.
Clink, clink across the country. But anyway, just from that movie, so Isaac, you can confirm this. Does that get paid off at all? Is there anything from that moment that gets paid off in the Flash movie?
Well, doesn't it get paid off in? I mean, it's so wild because I guess the payoff would be in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League,
Girl,
where we're not here to talk about that movie.
I am waiting.
We're not here to talk about that movie.
I was watching this the next time because famously LA had a hurricane and an earthquake. I was like, the next time LA has a crazy hurricane, I will watch the Snyder cut. I'm saving that for the worst.
I'm saving it for a day too.
Yeah.
I saw it and now I'm like intrigued because I want to see if that gets paid off. Because I felt like I watched the original, not the cut, and I fell asleep. So
You're literally sleeping on Snyder.
Coming this fall, CBS.
Is the show
I
just
love
you
that.
falling asleep on Zack Snyder movies?
But then D. Snyder is also there from Twisted Sister.
D. Snyder, okay.
And then we
And
eat
then-
Snyder pretzels.
And then I'll be there too.
And yep, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh my God. I'm so sorry to bear the lead. Isaac, how are you doing with your namesake?
Oh, thank you. Thank you actually very much for bringing that up because there is Zack Snyder, who famously does not understand Batman. And then there is comic book writer Scott Snyder, who famously understands Batman very well. Shout out Scott Snyder.
Shout out.
And then there's me, Isaac Snyder, and I just have opinions.
You're right in the middle.
Which is like assholes. We all have them. So
Speak for yourself.
Oh no, you're not.
It's a belly button.
You're not supposed to.
Oh yeah, man. It's just a little.
Yeah, you pull it out.
Man.
There's a USB on the end.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I forgot this was her intro. I love the Wonder Woman movie, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the second one. I know I'm alone in that, but I like it.
Yes, you are.
Pedro Pascal, Kristen Wiig, two of the most charming people as villains. Incredible.
No,
Yeah,
that movie sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, they should not be villains, but anywho, yeah.
I got into a very rough political fight with my family that Christmas, and then I went home and I watched that movie. So it healed me. I don't know about y'all. But anyway, like this as Gal Gadot's intro into the DCU was, I mean, she was great, but she's also only Wonder Woman for the last half hour of this 3-hour movie. If you watch the extended cut on Max, I don't know. Could she have saved it? Is there a world where Wonder Woman could have saved BVS?
No.
Okay.
She honestly, like, it's cool that she was there, like, great, but like she didn't need to be there either.
Mhm.
It was like a weird like fourth aspect of the entire plot of the film, that like mysterious woman who is dressed very well is talking to Bruce Wayne at a party. It's like, who could this be?
She has to be somehow involved. Her tits are all the way out.
Her tits are all the way out and she's wearing metal strapped around her body in a sensual way. Like it just didn't, I don't know. I personally, if you're going to make a Batman versus Superman movie, just make it Batman versus Superman. Like, you don't need to put in other members of the Justice League. I'm pissed that the subtitle for the film is Dawn of Justice. That's literally the most like boner killer thing to say.
Truly.
Because it's like you go in and you're like, oh, like I'm watching a security tape of The Flash right now, and that's considered a cameo. But like, why is this here? Like, it's not necessary. It doesn't add anything to the story.
No. And Cyborg, even, do we get a Cyborg thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a Cyborg cut with his dad making him and saying, "Oh no, I've messed up," and cutting the tape. We even get a little Aquaman We get all of them.
Mhm.
It's just they forced it in a way that I wish it was a post credit bit.
Yeah.
Like if they did that as a post credit, I would have said, "Let's fucking go! I'm going to the movies again." But since they forced it all in Batman versus Superman, which is all I wanted to see, and they barely gave us that. Like towards the end, we get Batman versus Superman. I wish that we had it peppered in throughout. If you're gonna have Gal Gadot, use her more.
Truly.
Like she
Yeah.
barely spoke, and then like,
Barely.
and it's just I know who she is because I know who she is, but it
Mhm.
didn't feel special. It was just like, okay,
Yeah.
nothing felt special.
Mhm.
And it just I'm embarrassed. I'll say that I'm embarrassed for everyone involved in this movie, especially the people behind the scenes, because it's so clearly a sweaty, cringy try at their attempt to be Marvel. Because at this point in 2016, we're 2 Avengers in. We're sometime, I think this year, we had Captain America Civil War, which was basically an Avengers movie. And like the MCU was like in lock fucking step. Like this was like the golden age of, those
Absolutely.
the Tony Stark version of the Avengers movies. And it's just such a blatant like, oh, we can do the same thing totally, but it's just so ham-fisted. Like, ugh, God, like we introduce ourselves to this version of Batman, and then he's like, oh, and here's the rest. They're all here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just I wish the first part of the movie was more of just that Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman, and then boom, an explosion happens, something happens that connects to him, Superman, that makes him want to go out to Metropolis.
Yeah.
This just like he saw the buildings falling and said, "Enough's enough," and then we get that wild ass future cut dream sequence.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the future, but right now I want to stay in the present. And in the present, we're going to take a break. When we come back to podcast 616, we're going to talk about that future scene, which I do think was a good scene, and the final scene. I will admit, the final fight between Batman and Superman kind of slapped. Lock me up. We'll talk about all that and more feelings. And of course, did you know their moms are both named Martha? You got to hear this one. Keep it right here to podcast 616, and we'll be right back.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Chase Smith here from the Chase Smith Podcast and Cavs on the Break NBA Podcast.
And I'm JD, host of the Hyman Podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network, and we are super excited to bring you a brand new show starting next Tuesday, the Fanfare Podcast.
The Fanfare Podcast is all about your favorite movies and our favorite movies and the best moments in cinema. To help guide our discussion, each episode will feature one classic, and we will grade this movie using a report card-like scale A through F. We're going to be grading categories like acting, directing, cinematography, the score, and even the movie poster itself.
And when we're not featuring a movie report card, we'll be sharing our movie rankings, franchise deep dives, actor and director interviews, and everything in between. Movies have been a major part of our lives, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts with you.
Our premiere episode will drop Tuesday, June 27th, and JD and I will be reviewing Raiders of the Lost Ark in preparation of the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on June 30th, the 5th installment of the franchise.
Join us on the Fanfare Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Don Mike Mendoza, the host of Producing While Asian. Join us in Season 2 for more conversations with actors, artists, producers, and more from Broadway, Hollywood, and beyond, every other Wednesday on the Press Play Podcast Network.
And we're back. Yeah, it's my Batman. I've been doing that for all the Batman episodes. Not my thing.
No, it was great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I
It
didn't.
was so good. You should do the rest of the podcast.
I would love to. The apocalyptic dream sequence. Isaac Snyder, can you fact check me real quick?
Sure, I'll try my best.
Okay. Is it true that Batman just, what is he gets knocked out or he falls asleep, and like this whole future where Superman is like an overlord is a dream and not like a premonition?
So I think it's like it is a dream for Batman in this moment, but it is like, I don't know if it jumps into like multiversal stuff or anything like that, or if it's like a separate world or like, a possible timeline or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Famously, I did fall asleep at the Zack Snyder Justice League cut of the film. It's also famously 4 hours long. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember these little like buzzy men with like the little like fly wings. I think I remember them being the henchmen of what's his name?
Darkseid,
Outside.
I don't think it's Darkseid. I think it's
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. Yes. I was like, it's something theater.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chicago Steppenwolf Theater.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's Steppenwolf. Like he has these little like buzz henchmen. So I remember that. But I'm just saying, like, there's no basis in fact in this sequence. Is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I had him where I was like, was that a dream? Or is that just a premonition that he saw? And then out of nowhere, we cut back to Ben Affleck, and then you get the Flash who pops in real quick, being like, "Hey, man, you're right."
It's crazy. And like again, I was gonna say sorry, I'm gonna talk about the MCU, but no, they did it better. Like when Scarlet Witch first showed up and she like put like people's deepest fears into their heads, she like brainwashed the Avengers. That would have been cool. Get fucking Zatanna or whoever the magic. It's Zatanna.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna pretend like I don't know. It's Zatanna. Get Zatanna. Dark evil Zatanna for some reason is poisoning Batman with these dark thoughts about a future where Superman is an overlord. Do you guys have any other thoughts about this post-apocalyptic dream sequence?
I mean, it's just weird because that is also the first scene in the movie where we see Batman use a gun, and it's just like, again, just to bring it into that, it's like, come on, like that is just like the thing that you would say to prove to me that you know nothing about Batman. Like it doesn't make a single lick of sense. It feels lazy. It pisses me off. I'm still mad.
It's like they wanted Batman to be the Punisher.
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's such a good comparison.
That's because he's like long overcoat, kind of heavy with like all this armor. He's not really doing too many acrobatics because Ben Affleck and Dunkin' Donuts. But it was just like he's famously like part ninja type shit.
Just fucking Ra's al Ghul.
He threw like a kick in a metal suit, which I know you were saying that you love that fight scene, but I was kind of like, yo, Superman ripping out the suit. I don't know.
It's just like another excuse for an action figure,
Yes.
Yeah. It's just another excuse for a fucking action figure, and it's so stupid. It just looks dumb.
I thought we had graduated because that's what the Joel Schumacher Batmans were all about. Like, how many suits can we put Val Kilmer and George Clooney in? Literally, I watched Batman and Robin. There's a scene where they're the team when like they introduce Batgirl. They're like, okay, let's go after Mr. Freeze, and they cut to another scene and they completely changed outfits. They were already in their Bat outfits and they completely changed it just for, like you were saying, for toys.
Yeah,
I was that kid who was like, I need another Batman toy because of those movies.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. It just okay, the fight scene. It felt like for the movie's sake, yes, it needed to happen. In the realm of the movie, it was like, Superman, you know better. You're the strongest one here. He has some supersonic thing that you're like, stop, listen to me. And then you still show up and like duff him in the face. I'm like, bro, I just want to rip the suit off of him and be like, cut it out. Stop, listen.
EJ, I'm so sorry. I think you're forgetting who was at stake here. Because like he didn't just do it. Lex Luthor threatened one particular person. Say her name. You know what her name is. Can we all say it together? 1, 2, 3.
Martha.
Diane Lane. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, Martha.
Oh. I was going to do that. I was like, ooh, I should say somebody different. And I was like, no, EJ.
Star of Capote versus the Swans, Diane Lane. Emmy nominated for that role. Yeah, like I agree. But so Lex Luthor, well, I mean, first he blew up Congress, sure. Can I just talk about that blow up scene of Congress real quick? Like,
sure.
no one noticed that Lex wasn't there. Like the day they were putting Superman on trial, the man who's like always been like, we should question Superman. We should really worry about him. And he doesn't show up. And Holly Hunter's like, wait, he gave me this jar of piss and then he's not here. Nobody?
So she realized, I was like,
It's a little dramatic. It's a little weird. I don't know why like Superman wouldn't know that there's a bomb like nearby. I don't know.
Yes.
it was in lead. The wheelchair's in lead.
Right. Also,
lead
yeah, using like a guy in a wheelchair and be like, haha, blow up. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, that's just like, fuck.
I believe an incel wrote that, a full ass incel.
This movie is written by an incel. Like, this is incel energy. Lex Luthor is incel. Like,
because Lex famously hates Superman because he fucks. Because Superman fucks and Lex does not.
Superman fucks.
Yeah.
In the bathtub.
Exclusively in the bathtub. In the fight when Lois is like trapped in the water and Superman's trying to get to her, I was like, I wonder if he's thinking like, man, this is just like that bathtub scene. I will always find you in water, Lois.
Truly.
Always. He was like, I know that thing wet. What's up? He said, oh, I know. He said, what's that sound?
No,
Is Lois wet? I must fly. He stopped in the middle of a fight to say, oh, time out.
Oh, wait.
My lady wet right now.
My lady in the water.
You know the sound.
EJ, thank you. This is a good movie. Okay. Things about the fight that I liked. I know it's grim. I know it's grisly, but I do think the trailer for this, that's why I had so much hope. I love the line, tell me, do you bleed? That's pretty cool. And then
Whoa. Hold on. You thought that line was cool? You thought the do you bleed? You will line was cool?
Isaac, I don't know if I've made it clear by having a superhero podcast, but I kind of dig really toxic male violence.
I was going to say, yeah, you've never talked to a woman over 50. I say the same thing. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Totally.
Blink and you'll miss that, folks.
Totally.
Never
Trying to know what the situation is.
Wow.
I mean, I have nothing to say after that.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Get out of here.
Okay. We will have the police sent to EJ Cameron's house.
Call the police again. It's just Sting. Yeah, no. It was one of those lines when I heard it, I was like, you want to be cool.
I wanted to be cool. I like Batman until
Me
now.
Too. Me
until
too.
This.
Especially, okay, you know what else I didn't like about the fight scene? Boom. The first bullet wears off. And Superman's like, psych, nigga, what's up? He cowers away. And I was like, not my Batman.
No.
Not even for a fake. He was just like, stop. Time out.
I didn't think about this. I thought I usually just win.
Yeah, it was like weird how kryptonite, like in dust form, is like a little less potent for the Man of Steel. He's like, I can handle a little bit of dust.
Yeah,
but then I
took my Claritin this morning. I'm good.
Right. He's allergic.
Yeah, like it's in your lungs. He should be like fucked up.
He should be fucked up, but
at least to the point where they were at like an even level. So the fight could be, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah, Batman didn't have to get like chucked halfway across the battlefield every 5 minutes.
And like through multiple floors of that.
Through multiple floors.
Oh, yeah, well, he just threw Superman over the ledge. He was like, all right, man that can famously fly. And he dropped him on a pile of radiators.
Yeah. That hurt.
He did
I was like, where'd you get all these radiators?
I mean, that was kind of cool, though, you know? Just to bring it back into cinematic parallels, you know, the idea of Batman falling down that well and seeing all the bats, it's like crazy that now he's in like a stairwell and he's descending upon that. Like, that's kind of sexy. You know what I mean? That's the thing for Zack Snyder. I'll give him that. Visually, this is a cool ass movie. Like, but if it's on mute, You know?
Oh yeah. One of my even though I think it's very problematic, but like the scene where Superman like flies down and like all the people are like bowing to him. I think that's
Mhm.
That's
visually interesting.
badass. Yeah.
Oh, but they're all like reaching for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a symbol of hope.
Symbol of hope.
Yeah.
It does feel a little appropriative because it's excellent.
It was
but
good.
it
There
still
was really
looks very
great
cool.
shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isaac, even when he was standing there with all the bodies outside the Capitol, that was a cool image of just Superman standing there among like wreckage and being like, "All right, I gotta go."
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to bring this conversation to a head. I'm just gonna again, we kind of lost it, but the Martha of it all.
Martha, how dare we?
Uh,
Wait, what did you say?
I said Martha.
What name?
Martha. Wait, let me
No,
be
why
Lois.
did you say that name?
Let me be Lois. It's not his name. It's not his name.
Why did you say that name?
he got mad. Like he got mad. Like as if Martha isn't like a I don't know, that's a pretty common name.
Has he never heard the name Martha since the death of his mother, Martha Wayne?
Damn.
That's the only place he doesn't vacate. He's like, let's go to Martha's Vineyard. What did you say?
Yeah, doesn't go.
You
to
don't
Martha's
have a
Vineyard.
mom born in the 60s? Like what? I'm confused.
You didn't watch season 3 of Doctor Who with Martha Jones as the companion? Anybody? Okay.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I've
something
seen
I
all
did.
the other Doctor Who's, but that one season.
Wow, you missed the first. So EJ, you missed the first black companion on Doctor Who. Crazy.
Yeah, you know what time it is.
I just wanted. How did you feel? I feel like this. I didn't watch this movie in theaters, so I knew the Martha thing was coming. But like for either of you, was this like the first time you watched it? Was it like were you prepared for it, or was it a complete surprise?
I truly had a good chuckle. Because I just low-key kind of forgot like little things. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. But the Martha thing, I did not remember, and I was laughing at it. Like, that's
As you
all it
should.
took. We've been fighting up for 90 minutes. Hold on, wait, what's your mama name? Nigga, that's my mama name.
Damn, I can't kill someone with the same name as my mom who died.
I see it. We both wear capes.
Mhm.
I was tripping.
It really was very upsetting. In the theaters,
Yeah.
I do remember when I saw this movie in theaters, I laughed like out loud. I was like, that's so silly. Like, yeah, Martha Wayne and Martha Kent. That's the thing that you're gonna bond them together with. It's not gonna be like, the need to protect people so you became a superhero in fucking tights. It's gonna be the fact that our moms have the same name.
Or just go one step further of like, hey, my mom died. I can't kill a man who's fighting for his mom to live. Like just that. But they didn't do that. They were like,
Like, what if her name was Brenda? Would he have let her die?
fuck that bitch.
Absolutely. He would have killed him.
Say Brenda. Nigga, shut up. I did it. No one
From hell's heart, I stab thee.
Mhm.
Like
Oh
Captain
my God.
Ahab with his
It was a spear.
It was
Like,
a
what was he
full-
gonna? He was gonna stab him.
kryptonite spear.
A kryptonite spit. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And David, we talked about this earlier. Not to like hop off of the fight. Another person. Speaking of maternal figures, fucking Alfred.
Yeah,
My least favorite Alfred ever.
Truly.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
Nobody
bad
was
Alfred.
likable. He was just like miserable and mean. I was like, what? What are you saying?
Yeah,
Felt like a drill sergeant Alfred,
Yeah.
former military Alfred. And I was like, come on, just let him be a fucking butler. Like,
truly.
And he kept saying like weird dark expressions. He was like, 1:30, the gods will come. And you're like,
Mhm.
wait, what? Where are my pancakes, Alfred? The fuck?
I'm
Right.
starving. Where's my Dunkin' Donuts?
good Alfred, the original Batman movies. That actor, so good. He hands him soup and he's like, oh, it's cold. He's like, it's supposed to be cold. Like,
Oh, it's
great
so true.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Great Alfred. Be snarky. Be stupid. Like, don't be a general in the military.
I will say my favorite Alfred, and I've said this on the podcast, Michael Caine. I think, Master Wayne, why do we fall, Master Wayne?
great Alfred.
That's
Pick
my
ourselves
Alfred.
back up. Ugh, great Alfred, Michael Caine.
Jesus. All right. We've talked a lot about Batmans and Supermans and Alfreds, but I think it's time for us to do one final thing. That's a glorious round of fuck, marry, kill.
Do you bleed?
For all of the one of them will bleed for us. Or two.
I'm sorry. That's wild.
That's wild. I don't think Amazonians bleed that way. Okay. So yeah, I said it. You both fell out. You both fell out the frame.
We both said
We were like, wait.
I don't know how their bodies work. But maybe I'll find out.
Oh my god. They're born from sand, so who knows?
If you can't figure it out, listeners, on the docket today, we've got truly the primary colors of DC Comics. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. One we will fuck, marry, and kill. I will go first to give my guests time to think, get their answers in order. Let's see. Humana. I've never done this in all the Batman movies I watch, but I'm going to kill Batman. He stank. He sucked. Actually, this is really easy for me. I'm killing Batman because Ben Affleck. God, the way he would creep up on Diana at the parties, I was like, you don't know her. She don't want to know you. Yuck. I'll kill him. I'll just stab him with a bat spear. With Bat Tonight, and then I will fuck Superman because I'm only human. Have you seen Henry Cavill? I don't watch The Witcher, but sometimes I think about it just for that man. He's gore.
He looks good. No, you are. I don't watch The Witcher, but everything I've seen him in, whatever Mission Impossible that was, every movie I see him in, I'm like, oh, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Starts fighting. No, he takes good care of himself. When he showed up as Wolverine, I was like, dude.
Funny. They got that. That was a good joke.
That was good.
Oh, that was great. Go ahead, sorry.
And then I'll marry Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. She's gorgeous and she's so old. She's got so many stories. I'd love to hear about all the wars she's fought in. I hope it's all of them. There's my picks. Let's go to Isaac Snyder. Who are your picks, please?
Yeah, for sure. So this one's really hard because I mean, this is the trinity of the DC universe. You know, they're on every poster, they're in every story, they're the big three.
But again, just keep it to this movie. Like, we don't need to talk about their legacy.
Sake.
Yeah, the three that we saw for 3 hours.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification.
Oh yeah, that helps because I was going to go through I was like, historically speaking.
Yes, exactly. Historically speaking, but in that case, you know, I'm gonna have to fuck Superman. Period.
Yep.
I got a thing for bathtubs, and I'm sorry,
you be
Henry Cavill backshots. Come on, like, then I would kill Ben Affleck as well. Honestly, it's all going to be the exact same thing that you said, because truly, like, this Batman, he looked like a chicken nugget, and like, I'm not into that.
And not even a McNugget.
No, like, it was a Wendy's chicken nugget. Like, actually, no, it was a fucking Chick-fil-A chicken nugget.
Girl, I'm going to say it is an undercooked frozen chicken nugget you get out of your own oven. Like, you got to put this back in the oven. It's not done.
Oh, Tyson's, man.
Tyson's chicken, yes.
I love a chicken nugget in the air fryer, though. I'm just going to say that. But, and then I would famously marry Wonder Woman, truly, because I do think, agreed, she is probably gonna have really great stories, and like, I know that she will like protect me in love, and she will nurture me to be the best person that I can possibly be, and I think that that's really important for marriage.
She's got that lasso. You can't lie to her.
I wouldn't have to. You know.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to, EJ.
I know, I'm over here like, I was like, oh yeah, nah, you do. Trust me. We'll talk.
Could you imagine trying to lie to Wonder Woman? I think that would be really scary. I don't know. I think that'd be scary.
You'd be like, listen, baby. She'd be like, your heartbeat. You'd be like, no, I'm serious. I was DMing. You'd be like,
EJ, the fact that you would DM when you have literally Wonder Woman, and you're still DMing. Anyway, go on.
You don't know what she got going on. She could be. I don't know.
True.
Listen. Okay. I'm gonna go with fucking Superman. Superman. He's an alien, so it's like cool. It's not all the way gay, right? He's an alien, so it's different.
Definitely not.
Make
all
Superman
the way
great again. Make
Yeah.
Superman great again.
And also, like, he could fly. Like, okay, boom. You could be fucking and fly. Like, I'm assuming I'm on top, so I'm like riding on the back, like holding on to his cape, like, hey, Eiffel Tower. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll
it's
say.
like you're gonna get to experience some shit that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that'd
Mhm.
be cool. We get like a little kryptonite condom. I don't know.
You want to kill him?
Kryptonite toy. You're like, yeah, look at
Just a
you,
little bit
man.
of pain. Just a little bit.
That's true. I mean, that's an interesting question. With Superman, do you need kryptonite lube to penetrate?
Yeah, so like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You saw how he looked all drained after the nuke. Like, just put him in the sun. Put him in the sun. He'll be all right. I have to kill Batman. Yeah, he got a lot of issues working out. First, I was like billionaire, but Wonder Woman got money. The problem with marrying her, because she's so old, I feel like she would say some like wild racist shit too. Like she'll say something, I'll be like, what?
Well, she's older than racism, I would say. And there's no racism on Themyscira.
Themyscira, yes, there are no men either. So that's why I'm marrying her. She's gonna bring me back. Be like, hey, ladies, on her invisible plane,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
pass me around, slut me out. Yeah, we're not for that. A bunch of Amazonian women, like,
That's how it works, y'all.
There you go.
I'm trying to get Midsummer.
Did you finish that movie?
I got what I needed. I saw the scene in the yurt and I said, this is a great movie. And I left.
Mhm.
Damn. All right, man. That's Fuck, Marry, Kill. And everybody, that is the episode. Batman v Superman. I think I will never see it again. And I've said that a few times now with a few Batman movies. Were it not for this podcast, I would never have watched Batman Forever or Batman v Superman. Dead to me. But thank you both so much for being on this podcast. Isaac Snyder, do you have any socials, anything you want to promote? Where can people find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at IDSnyder. You can find me on TikTok at IDSny. And you can find me on Twitter, but I am private right now. So if you try to follow me, just don't.
Oh, there might be a wait.
There'll be a wait. It'll be a wait list. It'll be waitlisted. Okay.
Oof.
After November 5th.
Yeah. Smart. EJ Cameron, same question.
You know what? What am I on? I'm on Instagram and Twitter as EJ Cameron, I think, or EJ Cam. I don't know. Type it in. If you find me, you did it. If you don't find me, it wasn't meant to be.
I love it. I love it. I love having two mystery guests.
Protect your peace.
Protect your
Yeah, fucking, you know.
All right, you millennials. This is Podcast 616. If you want to follow this podcast, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Podcast616P3. That P3 stands for Press Play Podcast, or podcasting network that lets me talk about Batman on a Marvel podcast. It's anarchy. Shout out to producer Michael. Thank you for editing this episode. I couldn't do this without you, and I'm sure you will give this episode of the podcast an A++. So yeah, keep listening, you guys. I'm so proud of myself. I will be concluding my Batman coverage next week. We'll be talking about the Robert Pattinson film The Batman, which will dovetail nicely into me finally watching The Penguin on Max, which is the whole reason why I did all of this. So please join us for that. Don't let this be in vain. Thank you. And so I will see you then. But until that time, please remember that with great power comes even greater responsibility.